Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another anime episode review. I am the vocally challenged rat, and this is the Rat's Nest. I'm joined as always by Kyle. Say hi, Kyle.
Who getting the best panic attack?
Who is getting the best panic attack? We are back with peak fiction. What else can we call it? Especially after this episode.
Yeah, and there's good news and bad news. Good news, this is a really, really important episode. Bad news, I'll let the blurry rat take it away.
Yeah, so long story short, happy Labor Day if you're watching this on the day that it's uploaded. I'm home for the weekend, and I left my mic in my dorm because I was like, "Oh yeah, Mushoku Tensei, that comes out Monday. No, it'll be good. I'll come back. We'll watch it. We'll record at night. It'll be good. Go to class tomorrow." And I was like, "Oh wait,
Your first mistake was going to class.
That's right. It comes out Sunday, so I apologize for the drop in audio quality. If you're a first-time viewer, it is not normally like this.
Does it affect me?
No, it does not affect you at all. You are.
I'm beating the allegations.
Dude, you are in fact beating the allegations. But our conversation will be as good as ever. So, speaking of our conversation, Kyle, Mushoku Tensei Season 2, Episode 9, The White Mask. What were you thinking?
This was a really interesting episode, and I will say it's second to the funny erectile dysfunction stuff with him in the town and that girl, and those episodes are peak, right? This comes close. I think this is one of my favorite episodes of the season so far. Because
it's hard to choose between this and erectile dysfunction for me, just because they're so different. I'm going to choose
erectile dysfunction because of the story behind it, and also just how interesting of a setup it is. But I think the White Mask, this episode, it's kind of similar yet different. It's opposite to the erectile dysfunction one of just, and it's a lot more serious. Like the erectile dysfunction, that's a goofy episode that's really funny and has a lot of great moments. This one is very
it's goofy
serious.
Watching it, you know.
Goofy on it, yeah, no, you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, I got you.
That one's like the class clown that makes an A. This one's like the normal student who studies really hard to make an A. This is just a very more so serious episode. Not really many funny bits in it. It's a big lore episode, big story lore episode. And I appreciate that. It's nice to have a mix-up. It was nice having the one with them capturing the cat girls. That was funny. Or the beast people. It was nice to see Body Daddy,
Buddy Daddy, as one of our commenters so eloquently put it. And I was like, that's awesome. I can't wait to steal that and never give you credit. That's great. Comment your funny name so I can steal them and not give you credit for it. That's awesome.
So, yeah.
So... Obviously, I loved this episode. Resident mid-show fan, right?
There's a lot to talk about with it, and you'll have to remind me.
Bananahoshi, my beloved. Nanahoshi is probably a top 10 character for me. I'd have to iron out the bottom 5 to see if she was able to get in, but she is definitely a very strong contender. I have been waiting for this episode for a long time.
Just from watching it, I could tell this would be one of those episodes on a rewatch with a friend, or not a rewatch. I mean, it's with the content, but seeing it with another person, it's definitely one of those where oh yeah, there's going to be a lot to discuss after watching it.
Yeah, whenever at the beginning of the episode you were like, oh, could you go back for a second? And it was Rudeus saying teleportation and summoning magic are kind of similar. And you were like, oh, could you go back for a second? That seems kind of important. I'm like, oh yeah, no, of course I could go back.
And in your head, you're this is super important.
You have no idea. There are so many moments this episode of you have no idea.
This is one of those where it feels like did you take all the notes during the film that was played during class? Good, great. And now this is the verbal exam.
Yes. So, how I think we approach talking about the details of it, because this entire episode is Rudeus meeting Bananahoshi.
Let's just talk about. Okay, here's the way we break it up. Let's just talk about the beginning of it with Fitz, then the middle bit with him first meeting her, and then the ending of it could just be everything else.
Yeah. And I will let you lead because I want to talk on what you
Yeah,
remember,
what
because
I
I don't want to
remember.
accidentally slip up.
Yeah,
Because
you're good. You're good.
I kind of said this before episode, but this is an episode where I have to be. I can't just say
Have to be
too
careful.
terrible much.
Yeah, you have to be careful.
I will answer any question you have in regards to what you are supposed to know.
Within your authority that you can currently give. I understand. Don't worry.
Absolutely. So yes, so we start off with a bit of Fitz stuff, and Sylphie's there for a second too, which is weird. I didn't know Sylphie knew Fitz. That's crazy.
It's crazy.
That's crazy. Are you gonna walk us through it, Kyle? Yeah.
Sorry, you sent me the Who Getting the Best Panic Attack on Twitter. I had a
I did. Who's getting the best panic attack?
So I'm trying to remember like the very beginning of the episode where doesn't it start with them walking down the hallway and then it's Rudeus with what's the dog one's name?
Prasenna.
Where they're just like goofing around, being some silly little goobers, and she like shoves like a turkey leg in his face, and she's like hitting him with it, and he bites it, and she's like, "Don't bite it! Don't bite the turkey leg!" And then Fitz, for whatever reason, is gay and just stares at Rudeus so much, and just like walks into a wall, and then it cuts to the next scene where it's Ariel. Luke is his name, right?
Yes.
Luke and Fitz are all in a room, and Ariel's like, "Oh, you like that Rudeus, don't you? You're always staring at him every chance you get." And then they talk for a minute, and then she reveals, I think at least like it catches Luke off guard if I remember, where she said like, "I haven't told Rudeus that I'm Sylphie." Okay, Bit's dead. Actual conversation, Brandon. Bit's dead. Yeah, she brings it up.
Darn it.
She brings it up. So yeah, she tells them that. And I forget what they exactly say in response, but I think I felt like, at least if I remember right, at least Luke was like, "You should probably tell him." Just it's like one of those.
You should tell him, and Ariel was like, "I leave the matter of Rudeus in your hands."
Oh yeah, she did say that. And then it plays the funny OP, the OP that was never around in season 1 and wasn't there at the beginning of season 2. So then we go to the library, and Rudeus is reading some stuff. He's still researching the stuff on teleportation and all that. And then, if I remember right, he asks Sylphie if she knows anyone that can help with this. And she
basically.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, explain.
Yeah, basically, he's like, teleportation and summoning magic are kind of like, they're like two sides of the same coin.
Basically. That's not gonna be.
He said, but there's one difference: you can't summon people. And so he's like, maybe I could look into summoning magic to help further my understanding of
you can't summon people, believers. 15 minutes later into the episode,
it's crazy.
So
but then he goes up to Fitz.
Oh, Fitz is like kind of half paying attention, half not, because she's like lost in thought.
She's dreaming of Rudeus, and he is pretty hot. What? Did I say something? Please continue.
So then she's like, "Urethra, I know just who to introduce you to help answer all your questions." It's Silent 7 Star, right?
Yes.
Silent
would you like to know a funny fact, Kyle?
Yeah, sure, shoot.
Would you like to translate Shizuka Nanahoshi into English for me? I'll give you a hint. You already know it.
Silent 7 Star?
Silent 7 Star is Shizuka Nanahoshi in English.
Interesting. So yeah, I'm just gonna call her Nanahoshi, obviously.
Yeah, no.
So,
her name, no one calls her Silent 7 Star.
No, that would be.
She's Nanahoshi or Bananahoshi, if you're in the know. Please continue.
That scares me. Anyway, so before I move on, I don't really have too much to say about the beginning stuff with like Ariel and Luke talking to Fitz. It's set up for the episode. It's not bad, but setting up. And then we get to the panic attack moment where
you win.
It's Rudeus, and he opens the door, and he's like looking around, and he sees her in the mask, and he just goes absolutely ballistic. He's like grabbing his chest. like crawling on the floor, like crawling away. And before that, he saw her, and Brandon can attest. I said, "All right, Rudeus, fight or flight, fight or flight."
And then immediately it cuts to him just bolting out of the room. I'm like, he chose flight.
Like grabbing his chest, like running away, like just spinning around.
Getting flashbacks to getting, stabbed through the chest. That's crazy. He's getting the best panic attack.
The worst time, and then like he falls to the ground, he gets up and his eyes kind of like white out, and he just falls over. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess he chose.
Yeah, because she comes out and she's like, that's kind of rude.
Kind of rude. Yeah. So then he wakes up. He's like, oh man, it's like him, and I think Fitz is the one who's doing the thing where he's like, she's petting,
the lap pillow.
Yeah, lap pillow. And he's like, "Oh man, soft my hands. I had a dream. I was just like attacked by like someone." And then he sees that it's her, and she's like, "Okay, calm down. Don't do the funny Twitter panic attack again, Rudeus, please."
Yeah,
that's
no way to treat someone who saved you. No, I guess you don't remember that.
Yeah, because she said that you were dead in that instant. And then we get to the bulk of the episode. A lot of the discussion between Rudeus and her, Nanahoshi, that reveals a lot of information here. And for most of this encounter, until one funny moment later, Sylphie is kind of out of the loop because they're just talking, like they're just talking in Japanese, actually Japanese.
That is the big thing that I remember when I read this in the light novel and the manga. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. So
I love the way that they adapted it, because this is, I said a couple of days I saw how they were going to adapt it, and I was like, okay, that's awesome. Whenever he wakes up after being knocked out, they're talking in the human language, and then of course Nanahoshi starts talking in Japanese. They talk in Japanese until near the end of the episode. Rudeus is like, why don't you say the rest in the common tongue, Bananahoshi? And she's like, okay. And then it's just Japanese, but it's like human tongue, right? What you call it, And
so whenever Rudeus wakes up, you can specify, because she's like, look, I want you to answer these truthfully. Before we go any further, I have 3 questions. Like, do you know the one? Like, do you recognize the symbol? Or like what this is? Like, do you know what this is? And it's just like Japanese kanji. Like 2.
She says not even. She says specifically, do you recognize these names?
Oh yeah. Do you recognize these names? And what are the other 2 questions?
The other 2 questions are,
fake fan.
It was like, can you read this? Which one of these 2 are you? 3rd, do you understand this language? Okay,
you're a real fan. You passed the vibe check.
I'm definitely not scrolling through the episode right now because I wanted to read the names if you asked me.
That's fair. So yeah, she asked him all that, and he's like, I can recognize this. Unfortunately, I'm neither of these people, and I don't know where they are. And so then they talk for a bit, and from the flow of the conversation, this is gonna be like spitballing everything that I remember, like big from their conversation. So she, at like some point in the conversation, explains like why Orsted was preempted to attack. She explains why Orsted has some beef with the man god, and she doesn't really know anything about it. She just
As is described in episode, he has a personal grudge.
A personal grudge.
That is the wording used in this episode.
And she explains how she was teleported to this world. So there goes the funny thing that he said in the beginning of, you can't summon humans. Wah, wah, you can summon humans. But as she recalls it, there was a traffic accident, and like they stated specifically, or like Rudeus or whatever, that like this girl is is this the same person from the traffic incident? You can yeah. So that is it, and so that also confirms for me that the 2 names are the people that she's looking for. She's looking for those 2
people. Names were the 2 people that were with her, because
that were with her.
1 girl and 2 boys.
Yeah. So then she's like, yeah. So basically, what happened was there's this traffic accident, and then I've been here for 5 years. 5 years ago, I was pulled here, which that's really weird to me because didn't the okay? So the Mana Calamity happened on Rudeus' 10th birthday, right?
Happened like right after, yeah, basically.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. So, 10 years after, because Rudeus was like fully reborn into this world. He died and he was like, a baby. He got reborn to
Yes.
this. So,
Uh-huh.
10 years after that is when Nanahoshi first entered this world.
Yes.
So there's a weird kind of like time lag where if she was there for as long as Rudeus, that'd be another story. But she said I've been here for 5 years, which is when the Mana Calamity happened. Which is strange to me because when that incident happened and Rudeus died, like that was at the same time, but yet there's like a whole 10-year difference before they got to that world. So I think that's like the biggest thing that stuck out with me. And then hang on, what else? So big thing that I really like, me, big juxtaposition guy. I really like how they framed Nanahoshi and Rudeus, where Rudeus had literally nothing in his life. Like, dude did not have like a bathroom to pee in. Bro could not, like, he had nothing, literally nothing. Also, I read the first 2 chapters, so I know what I'm talking about. I know exactly more.
That's true. That's true. Kyle is a light novel reader now. Everyone.
Basically,
he'll be able to watch my light novel reviews airing every Saturday for at least 3 more weeks of volume 14, 15, and 16, airing exclusively on the Rat's Nest Saturdays at 9 a.m.
Urethra, please like, comment, and subscribe. End of Urethra moment. Anyway, back to the main moment. He had nothing, and he likes being in this world because he had no regrets there. And she got pulled. They both basically were pulled against their will.
Let me clarify something here, real quick. Rudeus, he has no regrets about leaving that world behind.
Fair. Sorry, I should have worded
that. Yeah.
He's dead, but he has nothing that he wants to go back to.
He has no reason to go back.
She has like every reason to go back. She's like, I had friends, I had family, I had a life there, and also, it's interesting because she didn't get fully reborn into it like he did. Because, I don't know if this would affect things, but I feel like the story would have been different if, like, 34-year-old fat man Rudeus got pulled into this world, too. But, like,
it might have been slightly harder for him to pull the women that he does.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he got a chance to fully start over, and she didn't. And I like how it's framed as he has, like what she said, we each have what the other wants. Let's cooperate and both get what we want. You want answers, I want a way out of here, and I need a way out of here with mana. You have the mana, and I have the answers. So help me with my experiments, and I will help you. I will answer any question that you want. And then the big thing is, another big thing, she tells Rudeus also that, like, she's not at liberty to tell him the person who summoned her to this world.
That's another thing I want to clarify, because you said this before the episode. I wasn't going to say it there. I want to clarify something. That is not what she said. She said that someone she spoke to when traveling with Orsted told her that it was likely that she was summoned to this world. And she couldn't tell Rudeus who that person was that said that it was likely that she was summoned.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah. No. I wanted to clarify that misconception, because those are two extremely different things.
Yeah. There was a lot of important information thrown away here. I'm just trying to like remember everything.
No, totally.
What else did I miss? She talked about why she hated it there, and just like everything feels fake. It doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like
a couple
of
real things is
she doesn't age. Also,
she doesn't age. Yes, I was gonna mention
that's a big thing where, but she kind of like assumes like, okay, yeah, maybe I don't age, but like I'm probably not immortal, and I want to get back before anything.
She also has no mana.
Oh yeah.
No magic whatsoever.
I should have
everything, as she explains, everything in this world has some magic in it, even corpses. She has none. She has no magic whatsoever.
That's weird. It's interesting.
Another matter of importance is her thing of study. She is studying summoning magic and summoning circles and magic circles is what she's studying. It's another area of importance. And in order to use magic circles, you need magic, and so that's where Rudeus comes in with helping her with her experiments.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
I mean,
Or for that section? Sorry.
she mentions how she traveled around the world with
Oh, in like a
Orsted
year.
using teleportation circles within a year.
Oh yeah, that's the big thing. Yeah, teleportation circles. And then she's also not able to tell Rudeus like the locations of some of the runes where they found like what she
Yeah.
needed for the circles. I think that's the bulk of everything. If we're missing anything, feel free to like mention later.
Yes, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, but we didn't miss anything because we're always 100% right.
That's
So
true. That's true. That's true. We are always objectively correct.
moving into the more final portion of the episode. Finally, Fitz is a character again in this episode. Fitz, Sylphie, and so they're like, "All right." Oh no, Rudeus at one point is like, "Hey, we should like continue the conversation in like this world's language, so she can also hear it." And then Nanahoshi goes, "Oh, of course. Allow me to prepare."
One last
saying
thing. One last thing. I
out of
just
context.
remembered.
Okay.
The subtitles we watched were slightly wrong with one line,
Okay. Well,
and I know it because I love the line.
guessing it's a very important line.
It's not really like critically important. It's just like I just love it.
What's
It's
the line?
whenever Nanahoshi and Rudeus start talking to each other in Japanese, Fitz goes like, "Oh, what's that language from? Like, do you two know each other?" Like, and then Nanahoshi goes, "No." And this, it just said, "We're from the same place." The line, like that, those subtitles. I mean, I guess I don't know Japanese. Maybe that's what the Japanese says. But in every other translation of this scene, it is, "No, we're just from the same hometown or the same home country." And then Sylphie goes, "That's not possible at all." Which so in the end it was like well that's like we're from the same place, like well that's odd, but why would Sylphie object to that? It's because Nanahoshi's like we're from the same like hometown or the same like home country.
Yeah, interesting.
And then Fitz is like that's not possible. Of course Rudeus doesn't know why, but
that's interesting.
I love that line, and so I was like okay,
Yeah,
that's
that's fair to clarify. Yeah, like I was saying, now she gets ready to drop like one of the most out of context lines with no proper build up on Sylphie, where at the very start, right, and like this isn't a criticism, but I just find this like really funny, where she's like, okay, Sylphie, the first thing I'm gonna tell you, I caused the calamity, is basically what she says in. Oh no! Before this,
after she puts on
like
the
a couple of rings, like defensive rings, and then Sylphie starts attacking her for a second, and then she starts to block it, and she's like, "Rudeus, help me out here, buddy!" And he grabs Sylphie and is like, "Hey, calm down. She's a victim too." And then she immediately stops and goes, "Oh, okay." like I get the point of the scene. It just felt kind of awkward because like she definitely could have worded that better at first.
It's
fine.
You don't know Nanahoshi, but it's Nanahoshi. Like,
yeah, I don't know her, so maybe that is very in character. But yeah, so then they continue the conversation. They explain that, and then she's like, "Well, it's not like me being summoned here caused it, not me directly."
Yeah. Well, it's Rudeus that clarifies that.
Yeah. And then, is there anything else that they say after that in their discussion?
I think basically she's just like, "I'm looking forward to working with you."
And then he's like, "Yeah."
Signed Bananahoshi.
Banana. It's okay. And then he's like, Rudeus says, "I think that's enough for today. Let's go." And then there's this really.
And Nanahoshi's like, "Man, I'm tuckered out from talking to people. That's crazy."
Oh yeah, and I made the joke of like me when I talk for like 15 minutes.
Me,
But yeah, the very last scene, and I made the joke of like this has got to be like an awkward walk home after that, of Rudeus walking and Sylphie kind of just like slow walking, like stopping herself, keeping
Sylphie,
like a
who's
distance.
that?
Brandon,
Fitz in that scene.
The jig is up, the bid is up.
No. What bit? What joke?
Fine. Fitz is walking behind Rudeus at like a distance, and I forget exactly what they were talking about at the very end.
Okay.
Remember?
Basically, it's just like Sylvie is like talking to him. I mean, Fitz is like
No freaking way.
talking to him, you know. So she asks,
It's not
so
like
what do you
when she
think
got,
of her? And Rudeus goes, to be honest, some parts of her rub me the wrong way, but I think I trust her. And Sylvie's just like, I see, or okay, that's good then. And then Rudeus is like, you were worried about me, weren't you? I since oh no, maybe that's Sylvie saying, I don't know. And says, well, yes, you're welcome, because I can't play the episode because Kyle's coming through my computer audio, and so if I played the episode, it would show up in episode. Yeah, so it's basically just them kind of wrapping up the discussion, right?
Yeah.
Or we learn, you know, Rudeus is like he doesn't know exactly what to think about her, but he's like, I think I'm gonna trust her.
For now, at least.
Yeah. And yeah, that's the episode. I will say one final detail to mention that I was just thinking of, just a miscellaneous detail, is like Nanahoshi has contributed a lot to the school. Like she designed the uniforms and improved the cafeteria and stuff like that.
Oh, neat. Yeah, I forgot about that.
And then Rudeus mentions like, oh yeah, Silent Seven Star did this. Kind of reminds me of my old home. And then we were watching, and you were like, it took you a second to process, like a little bit after the line where it said, you're like, wait a second, it reminds him of his old home. And I just sat there. I was like,
yeah.
Oh, bro's catching on. Bro's
not ready for this.
Yeah, so that was
the White Mask.
The episode. The White
Mask.
Mask.
Very good. Because again, it was a different tonal shift, but I think it was a needed episode of like, okay. A lot of progress was made. A lot of some mysteries were resolved. Other mysteries were added. A very, very intriguing episode. Like it was, fun isn't necessarily like the vibe. It was just it was very nice to finally start having like another direction for this arc to go, where now it's okay. Now we're gonna work together and we're gonna do this. So.
Good. Now we are in fact being chilling.
All in all, and what's the next episode called? It was like 2 lines.
These feelings.
These feelings. That could mean a number of things. So
that could in fact mean a number of things. That's right. I'm back in my room so I could look at my light novel. So I was just looking through and seeing what we're getting next episode, and it is exactly what I thought we were getting.
Peak.
It's peak Mushoku Tensei, bro. It's peak Mushoku Tensei. I can't wait for the Fitz gay arc. You know.
That's so true.
It's so true. Yeah. No. Peak fiction. I've been waiting for this episode for a long time. And, of course, I forget my mic to record the episode. But, if you're still watching, thank you. I'm glad. Hopefully it hasn't been too bad. Everything will be back to normal next week. Yeah. Well, unless there's anything you have left to say, Kyle. If you are this far in the episode, then obviously there is something that you like. Okay, say something then, Kyle. Say something then.
Nanahoshi's cool.
Bananahoshi, my beloved. That's going to be the episode title, by the way.
Bananahoshi? Why is it
because her name is Nanahoshi, and if you put a "ba" in front of it, it becomes Bananahoshi.
Okay, I thought there was some actual deeper insight.
That's the actual reason. That's the actual reason.
That's stupid and dumb, and I hate you.
I would make out with her if she wasn't 16.
What?
If you're this far in the episode, obviously there's something you like, so make sure to leave a like, subscribe,
we know that she's
and leave a comment letting us know what you think about Bananahoshi.
Thank you all for watching. She was like an
hope
adult
that you
woman.
all enjoyed,
you are
and we will see you all next time.
I can't believe you. You're insane.